I didn't want my ex's mistress at my daughter's birthday party. Now everyone's upset, but I'm standing my ground. My ex-husband, 32M, and I, 33F, were together 13 years, married for 7.5. We had two beautiful daughters who are now 6 and almost 4. Earlier this year, I was fighting to save the marriage, and he was being standoffish, cold, borderline emotionally abusive, and refusing to communicate or work with me. One day I decided I had had enough. I asked him to leave, and he was happy to go. So we have always been on the same page as far as co-parenting amicably, not using the children as weapons, fair visitation, etc. He's a great father, but a terrible partner. In May, I find out he's dating someone seems a little fast to me, but not a big deal. She's someone he knew from work. He promised nothing was happening when we were still married, and I believed him. A month later, he informs me she's pregnant. Doing some rough math by the due date, they conceived 6 weeks after he moved out. Again, not great decision-making on his part. It's a lot for the kids to process when they don't even fully understand why their parents don't live together anymore. So in July, the bomb drops. I find out that not only was he sleeping with this girl 6 months before he and I even split up, he had previously gotten her pregnant and taken her for an abortion a few months before I asked him to move out. This was tough to deal with. I don't think a person ever really recovers from that devastating blow to their self-esteem. I have always encouraged my kids to have a relationship with this woman, her existing children, and the new baby. However, I don't care to have a relationship with her at this point. I might get there, but I'm just not there yet. I have been struggling with my mental health lately, and I'm trying my best to just deal with the day-to-day sometimes. I have primary physical custody of the kids, I have 2 jobs, 3 dogs, and I take care of our previously shared house on my own. I have a lot on my plate. Ex-husband moved in with his parents after the split almost 15 months on. He's still living there. His parents have a pool. 6-year-old wants a pool party slumber party for her birthday this week. We plan the party so that the kids can go swimming at his parents' place, then walk the 2 blocks to my house and have the slumber party at my place. I planned it this way in the interest of peaceful co-parenting, so that my 6-year knows that even though her parents are split, we will always be family. X informs me this week that he wants Mistress to be at the party. I said no, I'm not mentally ready for that yet. To be clear, I don't have a problem with him having a girlfriend. I've been dating someone for 10 months, I just haven't developed the strategies to deal with my anger that I feel toward this particular woman. He told me that she's family now and I need to learn how to deal with it. He also stated it's his call because it's his house. Ada for putting my foot down and saying I'm just not ready for this yet. I don't want my kids to see me upset on what's supposed to be a happy day. Next story. I jokingly told our daughter we'd pay for her plastic surgery. Now my partner's upset and I didn't think I say big deal. And my daughter Hazel, 15F, has been going through a phase. I am not one bit conventionally attractive to say the least, and Hazel is mad at me for giving birth to her and giving her bad genetics. Everything bad that happens to her she will blame on me. She tells me that I should have never had kids since I knew they would look ugly and monstrous. It has been bugging me, and I honestly hope that she will grow out of this. Honestly, sometimes she makes me feel bad for having her. I try to be as polite as I can whenever she says these things, but today was my last straw. She was late to school. When she came home, she told me that she would never be late if she did not have to spend hours putting on makeup to hide my horrid face. I told Hazel that I was sorry, and if she wants, I can pay for her plastic surgery. Hazel has been even colder towards me than she had been before, but Ada for saying that. Next story. I want my wife to stay at a job she hates because we could become millionaires. Now she's angry, and I don't know if I'm being unfair. Me, 30M, and my wife, 30F, are lower middle class people. Always have been. And we have a pretty good life, great son, and a house over our heads, but we always wanted more. Property and the ability to do what we want. I make okay money, but just enough to basically live where we are now. She put her 2 weeks in today because she hates customer service and talking to customers. She says she wants to do something she likes, but has no clue what that could possibly be. She is a good employee and her company knows this. So when she told them she was leaving, they offered her 1,000 shares of the company. If she stays another year, she could possibly gain another 2,000. She has to work for 5 years before she can sell them. The rate the company is growing and projected to be in 5 years would effectively make us a little over $1 million. IMO, that's setting us up for the rest of our lives, but she refused and is still looking for another job. I feel selfish AF for even considering to tell her to tough it out for 5 years. But I also want her happy. That's all I really want, but it's also a lot of money to us, Ida. Next story. Next story. I assumed I was invited to my cousin's wedding, only to find out I wasn't. I got upset, and now everyone's saying I made a scene. My 18F cousin's 22F wedding was this weekend. I'll call her Mary. Growing up, we were pretty close, as me and my siblings, 20F and 23M, often went to Mary's house. Lately, we haven't seen each other much because all of them moved away for college, but it's still nice to see each other at family events. A year and a half ago, she met her now husband. He was invited to Christmas, Easter, and every family event since then. When he was there, I noticed that Mary was a lot more distant than usually and barely talked to me, but talked with my siblings all night. I figured it was probably just because of our age difference. A few months ago, we got an invitation to their wedding in the mail, or at least my parents did. And my name wasn't mentioned on the invitation, which was addressed to our last names, but since I still live with my parents and my brother and sister both got one, I assumed I was included, and so did my parents. But Mary's face dropped when she saw me. She pretended to smile, but I could see something was bothering her. The wedding went on, but during the cocktail, Mary came up to me and asked me why I came, since she didn't send me an invitation. I was taken aback a bit, but told her that we assumed I was included, and asked her why she didn't invite me. She avoided the question, but after insisting a bit, she told me that she wanted her husband's family to have a good impression of her family, and didn't want them to know that her cousin was a lesbian, because she wanted to have a normal family. For context, our family is pretty open-minded, and all of them accept me. But her husband and his family are a lot more traditional and conservative. What I don't understand is, I don't look gay, whatever that means, and they would have never known unless someone told them. I was so shocked. I told her that she was sick for caring about impressing a bunch of bigots more than her own cousin. She got mad at me and we both got a bit loud, which attracted attention. People came to find out what was happening. When they found out, my parents said that she was being mean and shouldn't have made a big deal about this. A bunch of other people said that it was wrong of me to come when I wasn't invited. Mary started telling me to leave, so I stormed off. Since I have been receiving texts from her and her parents saying that I was a B for coming, making a scene, and ruining her big day. I understand that it's her wedding and she can invite whoever she wants, but her words were so hurtful, and I genuinely thought I was invited. But I know it's wrong that I caused such a scene on her wedding day. Maybe I should have just left and not said anything. Ada?